Fragment Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. Here today with you is your boy Pradius, and just got finished watching the Xbox briefing at Gamescom 2014 today. Pretty decent amount of news coming out, couple of big things, which we'll get to. So let's just run it down. First, they of course showed off Assassin's Creed Unity, which was more just like a cinematic trailer. Game was looking good as usual. No real new news there. It was just kind of there to show you that it's going to be coming to Xbox, as we all already know. And then, of course, FIFA 15 was next up. And they showed off some more of the Ultimate Team players that are going to be exclusive to Xbox. Previously, it was 40 players, and now they've upped it to 50 players exclusive for the Ultimate Team mode for Xbox One, which is great news for all the FIFA players out there who are super excited about that. And then after that, they went into some ID at Xbox games. There's a ton of them, which you can see playing on the TV now. They had like this one trailer that just put a bunch of them together into one trailer. But then after that, Chris Carlo went through and showed a few specific ones. The first one being Space Engineers, which looked to be like sort of like Minecraft in space, I guess you could call it. You're pretty much just building structures in space on top of asteroids. You build space stations and things like that, and then you can destroy it. And really didn't see what other points there were to the game, but like it was a very short gameplay trailer that got showed off. After that was a game called Super Hot, which was all in black and white with a little bit of orange mixed in. Character models were very blocky, almost reminiscent of the Sega Saturn era when like the first 3D Virtua Fighter came out. Although, like I said, everything was in black and white, and like bullets were orange, and then there was a certain few things that were orange. It was a really weird trailer. I don't know if you're like some sort of agent or what, but you've got a gun, you're walking around first-person style, shooting at things. The twist is that time only moves when you move. So if you stop, then time stops. So definitely looks like it could be an interesting twist. Not sure if that's going to pan out to be a great game, but it definitely looks like it has a lot of potential. Next up was the indie game that I was most impressed with. Was called The Escapists, which is a top-down, old-school-looking 8-bit, sort of looks sort of like Terraria, but set in a prison, and it's almost like a Terraria / prison simulator where you can walk throughout the prison and you go throughout your day doing your daily things, working out, eating in the cafeteria, getting into fights in the yard, but you can craft items too, like Terraria Minecraft style. Like in the video, they crafted a shovel and started digging a hole. The dude started digging his hole in a cell, trying to, I guess, get out of there Shawshank style, and that was pretty cool. Also, Smite, which was another really good looking indie game, which is a Diablo style MOBA. So this is a PvP action. But you're in third person, and the screen, the way it was set up looked a lot like Diablo, where as far as handling your spells and having your life and mana meters on screen, that definitely looked like they had a lot of potential. Even a surprise seeing it was coming from an indie studio, because it looked like a AAA game to me. And then of course, ending off was Below, which is the Zelda-alike game coming. Timed exclusive to Xbox One next year, and that was looking good as usual. There wasn't really anything new on the news front there, but it was looking sweet. Rest assured that. All right, and then they started getting into the heavy hitters. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They showed off a gameplay of the campaign where these dudes are on a bridge and they're in this vehicle called the Pitbull, and it can fire rockets out the top of it, and they were going down the bridge chasing after this dude, firing missiles, and then eventually the Pitbull gets blown up, toppled over, you get out and you're on foot, and then they were going down the bridge, hyper jumping, boosting, shooting stuff up. Pretty cool stuff. They also showed the smart grenades where you can change it from EMP to grenade to infrared to whatever. And it's also pretty cool. Like when you throw a grenade, it hovers in the air for a second and then like locks in on a target and then goes straight at them. So it's not like your average grenade that we've come to know in Call of Duty at all. It's they're almost like homing grenades. So that was pretty cool. The trailer ended off with the Golden Gate Bridge getting like blown up by drones and collapsing, and it was all chaos breaking loose. So they also showed off the multiplayer for the first time yesterday, which those of you who be familiar with the Pick 10 system from Black Ops 2. They're taking that to a new level and upping it to the Pick 13 system, where they're now including skill streaks in with the Pick 10 to make it Pick 13. You can have the 3 or 4 skill streaks, or you can opt to not have any skill streaks at all and use those points to put more attachments on your weapons or have other perks, etc. So that was really cool. I've never been a huge fan of score streaks. I would always put up, use 1, maybe 2 sometimes, but would never really get around to third. So for a player like me, I'd probably just want to have one score streak up there, because another cool thing is that you can customize your score streaks now by adding little modifications to them to make them different. Like there's a turret skill streak, but you can mod it to make it a rocket turret, or you can further mod it again to make the turret detachable, so you can walk up and rip the turret off and walk around with it. Just things like that. So that was really cool. Also, the whole maneuverability is really changing the way that you think about Call of Duty with these new exoskeleton suits. I mean, dudes are boosting all over the place, some boost sliding, boost jumping, and when you jump, you don't have to jump forward. You can actually jump up in the air and then boost yourself backwards to get out of harm's way. Or there's like a hover ability too, so you can be running across a rooftop, jump off, and then see some enemies down below, and then just boom, hit the button and be hovering there for a second and be picking off people from up in midair for a few seconds before you have to drop back down when the hover ability wears off. So that was all pretty cool stuff. Next up was Evolve, which, as you all know, is the next game from Turtle Rock, the creators of Left 4 Dead, where it's 4v1, which is 4 players, hunter, medic, etc., taking on one giant creature. Today at Gamescom, they were showing off the Kraken, which was he is a really cool looking dude. They had him flying in the air, spitting some crazy stuff at the hunters. So that was pretty cool. It was a fairly short gameplay demo, but definitely impressive nevertheless. The Xbox exclusive beta is starting in January, and then the full game will be launching in February. So not long after the beta, you'll be able to jump, right into the full game. After that was probably the biggest announcement of Gamescom, and that is that the new Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, is going to be exclusive to Xbox platforms. They didn't specify whether it was going to be just Xbox One or Xbox One and Xbox 360 as well. I imagine it would probably be both, as they were trying to maximize sales, especially being an exclusive game. You want to get as many sales as you can. I'm sure that they're partnered with Microsoft and everything, but I'm sure Microsoft cut them a pretty nice check to lock down that exclusivity, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually good that Phil Spencer is out there making moves, locking down some good exclusives for Xbox, and you couldn't ask for a better exclusive than Tomb Raider. I mean, the last Tomb Raider, the reboot, was just insane, awesome game. I played through it twice on 360, and then when it came out on Xbox One, I bought the definitive edition, played it again. So definitely a game that I'm really, really looking forward to. That'll be coming out holiday of next year, 2015, so be looking out for that. Next up on the list was Quantum Break. Amazing gameplay. You're playing as the dude Jack up against the Monarch Corporation, who have done this experiment that has fractured time. And I guess Jack was caught up in the experiment, which is what has given him the ability to be able to walk through time when it's frozen. You can also use your own abilities to, I don't know if it's completely stopping time or super slowing down time, but you can move in like a blurred motion and sneak up on enemies or change from one cover to a next so they don't know where you are. Um, the gunplay and all that reminded me a lot of Max Payne, yet the darkness and the lighting and the whole story and feel also felt very Alan Wakey too. So you can definitely see where they've taken the best of Max Payne and the best of Alan Wake and then put them together to try and make the ultimate experience here with Quantum Break. They didn't show off any clips from the TV show that's going to be going along with the game, which I kind of like to would have seen, but I was really, really happy, nevertheless, to finally see a good amount of gameplay, and I can safely say that Quantum Break is going to be huge when it drops next year, without a doubt. After that, they went into Fable Legends, which, is more Fable Legends. This demo was definitely a little more impressive than the E3 demo. The E3 demo, you saw them playing as the heroes, which was, it didn't look bad. It just didn't look as awesome as a traditional Fable game would have looked like had this been Fable 4 instead of Fable Legends. Still, not quite looking as awesome as I think Fable 4 would have been. But, as far as the whole co-op experience with one player as the DM handling all the bad guys on the thing, it was really cool looking at it from the villain's perspective. And I can definitely say that playing as the villain looks a lot funner than playing as the heroes, if that makes any sense. But it's Fable, and the beta will be coming later on this year, closer to the holiday. So we've got that to look forward to. Frontier Developments. They are working on an Xbox One exclusive called Screamride, which is like a roller coaster tycoon simulator, but it's not just like your average. It's more about building insane, crazy, over the top, off the wall roller coasters and seeing how loudly you can get the people riding these rides to scream, and then possibly even killing your passengers, throwing them off, and knocking into walls. And it was like a really, really crazy roller coaster simulator. But yeah, so Screamride, that's going to be coming spring 2015, exclusive to Xbox. So if you're into that type of thing, you've got that to look forward to. Then came up Forza, and before they jumped into Forza Horizon 2, I was pleasantly surprised to see Forza Horizon 5, or not Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport 5 up there, and they're dropping some new cars, which are actually available today. You can download. One of them is a Rolls Royce, and there's another one is a Formula car. There's like a Mustang up in there, and there's a few other cars. All of them are free to all Forza Motorsport 5 owners, so definitely recommend you check those out. I've got them on download right now, so hopefully later on this evening I'll be able to check them out myself and see what the deal is there. Then they moved on into Forza Horizon 2. The whole main focus there was on the social experience of Forza Horizon 2, and definitely looks really cool, pairing up with a friend or friends and just racing around the world, doing whatever you want, going off-road, doing rally races, making up your own races. It just looks like a ton of possibilities. Forza Horizon 2, definitely one of my most anticipated games of this year. It just looks terrific. After that, Ori and the Blind Forest. We all know this is an Xbox exclusive. Art style wise, kind of reminds me of Dust and Elysian Tale. But you're playing as this little creature, and he's almost like a sprite, or it's hard to describe him. But he's good. In the trailer they showed off at Gamescom today, it looks like he's got this dash ability that lets him zoom up to different places, and when you activate the dash ability, you can choose which direction you want to dash in. So it's not just forward or backward. You can also do it vertically, horizontally, whichever way you want. So that was pretty cool. And then next up was Sunset Overdrive, which Insomniac Games, I think this is going to be their return to form after the disappointing game, so to say, that was Fuse from recent memory. But I would say Sunset Overdrive was like going to be incredibly zany, incredibly off the wall, incredibly amazing. open world Crackdown meets Tony Hawk meets Ratchet and Clank style weapons. Insaneness. I really just don't know how else to describe that game, but that's another one of my most anticipated games of this year. So really looking forward to getting my hands on Sunset Overdrive. And then, last but not least, was the Halo Master Chief Collection. They showed off the final map, which was Sanctuary, and they showed off a 4v4 match on the remade map, which was really cool looking. Definitely looks like a return to form. Obviously, it's the classic Halo 2 style multiplayer, but the map's been completely redone. They also announced that the leveling system on Halo the Master Chief Collection is going to be Halo 2 style, skill based, which I know a lot of people are excited about. And then they showed off a level, pretty much a campaign level, just showing, the crazy awesomeness of the new graphics compared to the old from the original OG Xbox, which obviously they've done a great job there. And then after that, they did dive into Halo 5 Guardians a little bit, which good news there for the beta. They're bringing it back to the 4v4 arena style combat of the old Halos for Halo 5. It's also they're, I guess, doing away with the loadout of Halo 4 and bringing it back to an even playing ground, whereas all Spartans start out with the same weapons at the beginning of every match, and then the only way to get better weapons is to go around the map and pick them up. So definitely have power weapons to look forward to picking up on the map. The beta is going to be running for a little over 3 weeks, so that's an insanely good amount of time for a beta, I think. And on top of that, the beta is going to feature 7 maps. I don't think I've ever played a beta that had 7 maps in it. That is just a real treat for Halo fans, and I myself will be looking forward to diving into it. And last but not least, there are some unlocks in the Halo 5 beta that you will be able to carry over to the full version of Halo 5 Guardians when it launches next year. So if you're planning on getting Halo 5 when it comes out next year, I would definitely, I mean, as if you weren't already, going to check out the Halo 5 beta and try and unlock some of that cool stuff so you'll be able to carry it over to the full game when it launches next year. And then they had one little last announcement. Phil Spencer came on stage right at the end and said that, starting very soon, we're going to be able to pre-order and preload digital games on Xbox One, starting with Forza Horizon 2, and other games will be taking that advantage of that as well this holiday season. So I'm sure the Halo Master Chief Collection will be, as well as I think Assassin's Creed Unity and a few others as well. So that was it. Overall, I think Microsoft did a really good job at Gamescom this year. Traditionally, they kind of don't do too much at Gamescom at all, but really went in hard and did a whole press conference this year, showing off a lot of awesome games. A few surprises. Really big surprise with Rise of the Tomb Raider as exclusive to Xbox consoles. I just think that is insane. That is a game changer. And with that coming out next holiday season and Halo 5, and who knows, what else they've got in store for the holiday season. I'm sure those 2 games aren't the only ones, but those 2 alone are insanely huge games to have exclusive on Xbox One for the holiday season of next year. And then, of course, this year you've got the Master Chief Collection, Sunset Overdrive, Forza Horizon 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, Killer Instinct Season 2. It's just it's a really good time to be a gamer, and especially an Xbox gamer. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the episode. This is just a little short thing I decided to do by myself. This is actually my first solo episode of Frag Tag Radio, so I hope I did okay. But we'll catch y'all later.
Frag Tag Radio.